Hello and welcome to the a special Hero Power episode. Not doing a podcast tonight, James. Tonight we're getting ready to watch the finals of the Tadpool Facebook Hearthstone tournament. So have you played in one of these before?
I have not played in one of the Tadpool tournaments. I've played in some other podcast sponsored tournaments before, but this is the first time that I've heard of the Tadpool tournament. And this is the first one they've ran this year in 2016, and I just didn't have enough time in my schedule to get into it. But I'm hoping to get into one of the future ones this year.
Nice, yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat. I played in them last summer, but I guess it's unique the way they work it. The way they do the tournament is they divide everybody up into brackets, and then each week there's a match that you have to play with your opponent, and it starts the beginning of the week and then ends the end of the week, and that's when all the wins and losses are put in the new bracket, and you find out when your next opponent will be. So it lasts over the course of several weeks. It's really unique the way they do it, and there's a good community there. Aside from the LOTI Facebook group, this is one of the more active Hearthstone Facebook groups. And this particular tournament, like you said, it's the first one that's happened this year. It's funny, you and I are kind of the runners-up here. This was originally supposed to be cast by Avanties and Mattatarms, and of course you know Avanties from the show. And Mattatarms, we actually had him on the show when we did Lock and Load Hunter. Mm-hmm. He is the person sort of in charge of the Tadpool Facebook group. So they were they came in after the 4 rounds. Avanties was the number 3 seed and Mattatarms was the number 4 seed, and they were kind of joking. They were just like, Avanties was like, "Well, Matt, would you like to cast this with me, since we're obviously not going to be in this thing?" Because at that time the number 1 seed was Lindsay and Nikki, and so they kind of planned to not even be doing this. They were going to they were actually going to cast it, and then that final round. They both brought home the upset. Avanties and Mattatarms both won their matches, and it set them up to play in the finals against one another. And you and I were conscripted into service to cast the match.
Yep. And it looks like Mattatarms and Avanties will be playing each other in the finals tonight. And Mattatarms has a neat lineup. He has Dragon Warrior and Secret Paladin.
Yeah, you were a little surprised to see Secret Paladin on the list, weren't you?
I am, because in standard, Secret Paladin kind of lost its luster. There's been a few tested recipes out there, but in the tournament scene, it just hasn't worked out for anybody yet.
Yeah, and I think we were talking to Avanties a little bit earlier today, and he had said that this was a Secret Paladin that he was kind of scared of, and that it was similar to a Secret Paladin that Bloodyface runs.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's that's some pretty big credentials. Now, Avanties is going to be running a more traditional aggro shaman, and then he's going to be playing a N'Zoth rogue as well. And N'Zoth rogue is something that all 3 of us have really been working on for the last couple of months since Whispers came out. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good showdown. You have two people playing very different decks, and if you got to give an early edge, who would you give an early edge to?
If I wasn't Zerosio, I might go with Avanties, but since I'm Zerosio, I have to bet against him. That's kind of the rule. So I'm going to go with Mattatarms in this.
All right. Well, it looks like they are just getting ready to go. I have to say, I think that the Dragon Warrior is favored against both the N'Zoth Rogue and the Aggro Shaman. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to go with Mattatarms as well. This is a last deck standing format. So the winner gets to keep playing their deck. I feel like Dragon Warrior matches up really well against both the Rogue and the Shaman. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for Avanties. All right. So we're going in, putting on the spectate now, and you're spectating from your side as well, right?
That is correct.
All right, so it looks like our opening match is going to be Aggro Shaman versus Dragon Warrior. All right, so it looks like for Avanties, came into a Lava Shock, Overload, and Lightning Bolt, and looks like Mattatarms has 2 Kor'kron Elites. Oh, he throws them back. He throws back
the whole
everything.
hand back, yeah.
Wow. So he's got a Sir Finley, Alex Straz's Champion, Fairy Dragon, and it looks like Avanties kept his hand.
He kept his whole hand, which is, I mean, it has a good curve. It's got some heavy spells for my kind of style of aggro shaman, but he may be anticipating some of the early threats from Mattatarms here.
Yeah, I think so too. And Mattatarms plays Sir Finley and goes the Hunter Hero power. So I guess that kind of tells us that he's going to be very aggressive. He probably realizes playing against the aggro shaman that he's going to have to go fast.
Yeah, he's going to. He's going to need to.
And so Avanties plays Totem Golem on turn 2, so he has the 1 lockout, but he drew the Eternal Sentinel, so he can play that next turn and unlock that crystal if he wants to use the Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, that would be a good turn. He could either do that, or if he needs the aggressive spell advantage, he could use the Lava Shock as well, either way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if Mattatarms plays Alex Straz's Champion here, I think that will be I think that'll be the play for Avanties.
Oh, he uses it to clear.
Won't matter. Yeah. So I think if you're Avanties here, what do you think? I almost say this is Totem Pass.
That's correct. I would Totem Pass. You need your spells. You need your cards in your hand to deal with the threats.
And that's not really the position he wants to be in.
No, he wants to be the aggressor.
He does want to be. So he's going to go for the Eternal Sentinel as a tempo play.
And I wonder if he goes ahead and lava bolts or lightning bolts to face. No, he does not.
No,
he chooses to save that just in case he needs it.
Okay, so turn 3, it's a Frothing Berserker turn. It's one of those cards that if it's green, it's on the screen, right?
That's right. And this is probably a Lava Burst turn. I can't imagine going any other way.
Unless you want to sacrifice the Sentinel.
Yeah, you could sacrifice the Sentinel using the Flame Tongue Totem and just totem up. But to me, that's kind of a weak play.
Or you could use the Argent Horse Rider, run the Argent Horse Rider into it, Lightning Bolt the Frothing, and then go to face with the Sentinel.
You can. I don't like that either because he wants to couple the Argent Horse Rider with the Flame Tongue Totem.
Yeah, so he goes for the Spell Power Totem, doesn't get it, so now he's forced into the Flame Tongue play, so he'll be trading the Eternal Sentinel into the Frothing Berserker.
And he can't imagine that Flame Tongue staying alive.
No, but well, I mean, we're looking at Mattatarms' hand, and he doesn't have an answer for it.
Well, I mean, he can coin out the Blackwing Corruptor, but he does not have any activator. Or he does have one activator.
Yeah, he does have the Kor'kron Elite as well, and that's what he's going to do. I think this almost has to be Lightning Bolt. I would almost say this is. I can't think
of anything else.
Flame Juggler Lightning Bolt Totem, or Flame Juggler Totem Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, the Argent Horse Rider isn't bad with a Lightning Bolt. That gives him some damage to face because he has to start pressuring. Yeah. He really does.
I think I would have almost rather just ran that totem in. The 1 point of damage, to me, doesn't seem as valuable as having that Lightning Bolt for a bigger clear.
Yeah,
of course,
I agree.
He did keep the bubble on the Horse Rider.
I think he's looking to couple the Lava Shock with the Lava Burst.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
And see, that Fairy Dragon poses a really bad...
Here we go. Got a Flameless on the board, so now he definitely has to take care of the Fairy Dragon. I think this is probably a Flame Juggler turn. Flame Juggler, see if you can get a point of damage on the 3/3. Trade in with the Argent Horse Rider.
He might put out that Flame Wreath Faceless, but he's going to get really punished with that Execute.
Yep. This is not going to be a good turn for him.
This is the aggressive line. This is the line he needs to beat this Warrior deck. But obviously we see that that's not going to work out for him.
Correct. And typically, if the aggro shaman is going to start drawing dead, this is when it starts to happen.
This is going to slow things down. The Pharaoh Spirit's actually a good pull.
Yes, yeah, and it's really what he needed right now. He needed to get something out there to slow down this attack by Mattatarms. But I think once again, the
he's gonna roll. He's gonna roll the 50-50
yeah.
with the Flame Juggler. Now this
Does
is a
it
different
pay off?
line.
Oh,
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't pay off.
Honestly, that's not terrible considering he'll probably trade in with that, and he's hoping to draw something big and threatening to go with the Feral Spirits to slow things down. He needs his Doom.
You know, honestly, I think that's a misplay by Mattatarms there. That Bloodhoof Brave would have kept the Flame Juggler at bay. I would have just taken that 3-1 to face.
I would agree with you. Now, to me, this is a Feral Spirits, and then slap them in between, slap the Flame Tongue right in between those two.
Absolutely.
Because now that you have the Healing Totem, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but he puts it right between them. This is a great play. Of course, we see on the other side that Mattatarms has Gramash in his hand.
He does have Gramash. I don't think he's going to play it yet, though. He wants to use that as a surprise win condition. Oh, wow. Yep. He drew right into the front elite.
Yeah. Coin into the elite. That will pretty much handle Avanties' board. Now, see, I think you have to go ahead and totem. See if you get the spell power totem. You could clear here with a if he'd have rolled that totem first, he might have been able to clear and keep one of his minions on the board.
Yeah, well, he didn't get the spell totem, but you're right. If he did the totem first, he would increase his chance of getting the spell power totem.
Yeah, this is a Alex Tries champion turn for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And those fairy dragons are great activators, as well as against aggro shaman. They're great because you can't burn them down with lightning bolts.
Yep, and he'll use lightning bolt on the champion, and he'll rock biter the totem and take care of the fairy dragon. But at this point, he's top decking.
Yeah, and you can't be in a winning position and top decking against this deck. And honestly, this Gramash is going to hit the 1/1 and get activated.
Yeah, and that's why I would have rock bitered the totem.
Yeah, he didn't even need it with Blood to Ichor. Blood to Ichor is going to pretty much spell game for him.
Yeah.
So it looks like game 1's going to go to Mattatarms, and this is a best of 3. So first 1 to 2 wins will take this series.
Yeah, so he'll use the spell power totem to claim the ooze. Gramash is going to eat this Earthbind totem.
Yeah.
Or Stoneclaw totem.
Just about anything in his deck is going to take care of this 0-2 totem and bring him the win.
All right, so Dragon Warrior takes the first match. And I would say it took it pretty handily.
Yes, it did. It did. All right, so game 1 goes to Mattatarms, and we'll see. They're going to be queuing into their second match here shortly.
Yeah, so this will be Dragon Warrior versus the N'Zoth Rogue.
So it's this is the last hero standing format, correct?
It is. So Avanties, in order to win, will have to beat both Dragon Warrior and Secret Paladin with N'Zoth Rogue. And just from what I saw from the Dragon Warrior, I think the N'Zoth Rogue, this is a bad matchup.
Well, I personally run a very similar N'Zoth Rogue lineup as Avanties does on the ladder here, and I actually have pretty good luck. You end up relying more on your removal and kind of weathering the storm. Instead of using your dagger so much to clear, you actually use it sparingly because you know their charges are going to be going to your face.
Yep. So this is Mattatarms brings out a Rusty Hook with the Pirate's First Mate. On his first turn, let's see, Avanties has, well, he's got the Fossilized Raptor, SI7 Agent, Dark Iron Skulker, Sap, and Shadowcaster. He chooses just to pass.
You hate doing it. Sometimes you feel like you need to do the coin into the hero power but I think he was correct in saving that.
Yeah, because now you can use the coin as an activator for the SI agent and take care of that fairy dragon.
Exactly. Because there are very few things in this deck that can take care of the fairy dragon other than SI7 agent.
And this actually creates a pretty tough board for Mattatarms. Well, it did before he drew the slam. Now he'll just be able to slam the SI7 agent and use the hook to finish it off.
The one thing that's going to help Avanties in this matchup is that Mattatarms is also going to use his health as a resource.
Yes.
And you almost hope he gets Sir Finley early so he loses his warrior hero power.
I was going to say, it's turn 4. You don't have the frothing on the board yet. You know you're going to be clearing with the hook. You might as well. I mean, he's got the Fiery War Axe in his hand. So
now, here's my question. Do you sap this and then do the Undercity Huckster, or do you go ahead and use your Shadow Strike?
I would use my Shadow Strike.
And see, I would sap it.
Undercity Huckster is just going to enable it. Now, I mean, you can make an argument both directions here, but sap is one of those tools that I feel like for N'Zoth Rogue, you pretty much need it as a finisher in case they throw down a big taunt at the end. So using it this early, I think, puts Avanties in a poor position. And see, it really didn't help Matters at all. If he had a Fiery War Axe in hand, he would just go be able to cast it next turn.
Yeah, but this may give him something like an Execute. Oh, Armorsmith isn't a bad pickup for that.
No, but I still don't think it was what he was wanting.
And see, I like Shadow Strike into Armorsmith now.
Yeah, he doesn't really have much of a choice. So as it turns out, he ended up having to use the Shadow Strike to take care of the frothing anyway. Of course, he didn't know that there's another frothing in the hand. So now this is a frothing Berserker and then a Ravaging Ghoul turn, I think. And then you clear the armor. You clear the Armorsmith with the Fiery War Axe, and that just creates a massive frothing.
You see, now this damage, how does Avanties deal with this frothing? Because the Dark Iron Skulker is not gonna do anything.
You pretty much just have to go ahead and sacrifice your Sylvanas, I think. Because that is something that, whether Mattatarms likes it or not, he's going to have to take care of Sylvanas. And the best way to do that and to ensure that Avanties doesn't get the frothing is to go ahead and run the frothing into it. Because even if you damage it with the Ravaging Ghoul and then use Execute, he's just going to steal the frothing. You may get your 5 point of damage in.
Do you think Mattatarms should run in the Ravaging Ghoul and then the frothing, ensuring he takes nothing?
I think so. And I know that seems like a poor play, but we know on his next turn that he's going to throw down the down the Ragnaros. So what it looks like here is it looks like Mattatarms is going to go ahead and go face and then just roll the dice on having the frothing not taken.
Wow, he's actually going to go straight face.
Yep. And you know, when you're up one game in a best 2 out of 3, it's not a bad play.
Well, see, this ensures here that he can at least get a 3-1 Ravaging Ghoul if he wants. Oh, this is a smart play.
Yeah, so he should Shadowcaster Sylvanas and make another copy of her and put it on the board.
Yeah, I would clear the frothing and then put it. You're right. Put another one on the board.
Oh, and that was a great pickup.
It really was. It really was, because that's not something that can be taken down by a slam or shield slam or execute. And almost ensures he runs his 2/2 into it.
Right, and what he doesn't realize is that there's a Ragnaros on the other side of the board. So this 1/1 Sylvanas is actually going to play a very crucial role in the next 2 turns.
And see, did you notice that he didn't play it?
Right.
Which is really smart, because now he can actually wait for that Ragnaros. But at the same time, Mattatarms knows he has it in his hand.
Yeah.
Wow. That is huge. If he had played his Sylvanas, do you think he would have been able to play that 9/9?
I don't think he would have played his 9/9. I think you almost have to go Dark Iron Skulker and then Fan of Knives. See if you can draw into something else.
But then you're going to be at no mana.
You're going to be at no mana, but I mean, what are you going to put on the board at this point that's going to keep you alive? Because we don't know this. Avanties doesn't know this, but there's a Ragnaros on the other side. So if there's nothing on his side of the board, then he lives. But if there's nothing on his side of the board, then he dies. He has to get another creature out there in order to give Ragnaros an additional target.
This is a tough turn. I'd almost want a Sylvanas and then Raptor the Sylvanas.
That would have been a good play.
I think Raptoring the Sylvanas instead
of
using Cairn would have been better in my opinion, and you could have Fan of Knives for a card.
Correct. And then 2 out of the 3 targets that Ragnaros hits at that point is going to net you a Ragnaros.
Yeah.
I think the one Sylvanas out there, I think, is going to keep Mattatarms from using it. Yeah.
I agree with you. He was hoping for the Hunter hero power. He wants to apply that pressure. I expect him to just go face here.
Okay, so now this next turn, if Avanties Dark Iron Skulkers, he can then run the Sylvanas into Sir Finley and get the 9/9. It'll be
Correct.
a 9/7.
Now here, Mattatarms is deciding if he wants to go ahead and clear the Cairn and damage his Draconic Crusher. Ooh, he's rolling the 50-50, and he lost.
And he got burnt. So
And
now
he
he
used
goes
the
ahead and
execute.
uses the execute.
That was very smart.
Okay, so now, what do you do if you're Avanties? I think here you throw down the Unearthed Raptor, copy Cairn's Death Rattle, and then you Argus them both. That is a great play.
Yep.
Solid play. You dagger to the face and then dagger back up, pass the turn.
Wow, he goes to face. At this point, do you assume that one card is Ragnaros and not Fear? Because he's only used one execute, right?
No, I would have assumed at this point that it was Gramash.
Okay.
And he was waiting to use, because that's the only reason you take the Mage hero power at this point is an activator for Gramash.
There's the other execute.
Yeah. And it's also important to note that even though Avanties played the 1/1 Sylvanas, when it comes up again with N'Zoth, it's going to be a 5/5.
Now, you cannot Skulker and Backstab.
Yeah, I think I would have backstabbed. I would have Azure Drake backstabbed Fan of Knives here.
That's what I would have done, but this gives you more bodies on the board for something like a Ragnaros.
That is true.
And he draws in the Kor'kron Elite, and that doesn't quite give him what he needs to try to do damage. He's hoping for some 50-50 or some, well, not 50-50 here. He's got a 20% chance to go to face.
So he takes out the Skulker. Oh, and this is just a
lethal.
Beautiful turn.
And this is what this N'Zoth Rogue does. It stalls out the game just long enough to win.
Yep. Oh, and he's going for a little bit of flourish. Look at that.
But you
showing
can't
off
do the
a little
half
bit.
price eviscerate, right? That's just poor form.
All right, so we are tied up 1-1.
Wow.
So now we are coming up with Secret Paladin versus N'Zoth Rogue.
Okay, now I have never seen this matchup ever
I haven't either.
in the history of Hearthstone.
Right,
Hey,
because by the time N'Zoth came out, the original Secret Paladin had moved into Wild format. Yeah, so this is going to be an
correct.
interesting matchup.
This is amazing. And he's sporting the Lady Liadrin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's no other way to go at this point, unless you've got Golden Uther. I think
Now,
if you're Avanties here...
In a Paladin matchup, I would want to hold on to the Skulker.
I would too. I was just getting ready to say, Skulker and Fan of Knobs are your friends here.
Yep. Well, he did pick up the Fan of Knives, so that's good.
Yeah, and looking at Mattatarms' hand, it is just loaded.
It sure
is just loaded.
I mean, he has got a perfect curve using the coin.
Yeah, and well, I mean,
the stewards are going to just do nothing but help.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous.
And this looks like a very aggressive secret paladin.
Yeah. So there's the secret. Mattatarms is going to clear the loot hoarder. It's going to force Avanties to hero power into the secret keeper or Fan of Knobs. He is going to hero power into the secret keeper because you got to watch for what am I thinking of? The 2/1 that jumps out in front of it. I'm forgetting the card's name.
The Noble Sacrifice.
Noble Sacrifice.
Or as most people playfully call it, the Get Down.
The Get Down, yeah. The Get Down. I like it. Okay, so...
I don't know if I like the Steward pretty much just on a naked board.
I think what he's planning on doing is using... He's going to have to use hero power next turn.
Yeah. See, all Avanties would need is something to couple with the SI7 agent, but he just doesn't have it.
Yeah, see, I think here I would have probably played the Loot Hoarder. Since I knew that it wasn't a Noble Sacrifice, I would have probably played the Loot Hoarder and gone ahead and hit the Steward for 1.
Yeah, I think hitting it for 1 would have been smart just in case it was competitive spirit. But...
And the Flame Juggler goes.
It's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do here.
Okay, so this one's pretty self-explanatory. I think right here you have to Huckster SI7 agent. Well, Fan of Knives,
I guess so. Fan of Knives Knives into a Huckster does close to the same thing. It still threatens that 2/2, and he can clear the 1/1 with his dagger.
Yep.
And the important thing with the Huckster isn't that you have the 2/2 body. The important part is you really want it to die so you can have a class card of your opponent to threaten them in a way that they're not expecting.
Exactly. But in this matchup, those Fan of Knobs are like gold. And this is the Mysterious Challenger makes for a very, very, very tough turn 6.
Well, the fact that he doesn't have a dagger to run in makes this really rough.
Yeah. You know a Noble Sacrifice is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you almost have to dagger and go ahead and draw that out. And then you
run the Huckster in
and eviscerate
it, and then follow it up by another Huckster. Pretty much puts you at the same board state, except you know one of those are most likely competitive spirit.
Yeah.
Is there any warrant to running in the Huckster first to see what you get?
I think I would have. Oh, Tyrion.
He picks up a Tyrion Fordring. That's ridiculous.
All right. Now, see, I think for Mattatarms, this is going to be another Steward play.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to do it. He's going to go with the True Silver to clear the Huckster. Go ahead and make his 1/1.
I think he feels that Avanties is not drawn into his board clear, so he's going to go ahead and start keeping the board strong. Oh, well, draws in the Divine Spirit. That's Divine Favor. That's really not going to help him much. Oh, and there's a Fan of Knives. It's actually not a bad pickup.
Now, I think here... See, I think I would have Loot Hoardered SI7 agent.
Well, I like Fan of Knives, SI7, and then you kill the 3/1. That clears the entire board.
Right, but...
Now, you know that the True Silver Champion's going to kill the SI7 agent, but that gets rid of that charge. because he's almost going to have to Tyrion Fordring, and Tyrion Fordring falls right in line with this deck because this is an Azoth rogue deck.
Right.
So you want Tyrion to die.
But it's putting him at 13 health, which is really tough.
True.
And Mattatarms gets to play probably the most overpowered card still left in Standard and Divine Favor.
It is very true.
But puts another secret out. He's going to go ahead and clear the SI7 agent, putting Avanties in what has to be a Tyrion Fordring turn.
Yeah,
there's no other choice here.
But if this Tyrion doesn't die, he can Shadowcaster into another Tyrion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to go this turn.
Azoth. Yeah, he has to find a way to kill it this turn, but I don't see any obvious way to kill it.
I don't either.
Even making it a 3/3, he still has to pop the shield.
So I think, yeah, the first thing you do here is you go ahead, you unearth Raptor and Shadowcaster that bad boy, and then play the other Tyrion.
But don't you need your dagger to clear the Noble Sacrifice, or do you just not attack this turn?
You don't attack this turn. You'll have 2 taunts out.
Oh,
see, I think this is a bad play. Having that extra bubble taunt was going to be key to surviving.
I would agree with
this next turn. And I think he knows it now.
Yeah, I think he's rethinking his thoughts on what he was going to do.
Yeah. I think you almost have to sap at this point. You're going to have to sap the Secret Keeper. And then you have to stay home because you know one of those. There's a good chance that's a Noble Sacrifice.
This is a tough play. This leaves a lot of damage on the board to get past Tyrion.
Yeah, well, now he can forget using the Shadowcaster on Tyrion because Tyrion will get cleared this turn. That was his only turn to really do that. He's got 2 Shadowcasters in his hand, and they're pretty much just going to sit there.
And that weapon is pretty much only going to go face from now on because you can't afford. Oh, and this is bad.
This is that's game.
Yep, and that will be game. The Leroy hits the board. He pulls that right off the top of his deck. And Mattatarms takes the series 2-1. Good job. This is very good games.
Yep, and that I think Secret Paladin, I think you could say that it's back. Maybe it's not as powerful as before, but it's definitely back. It definitely forces you to have to work around it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I wasn't a big fan of Secret Paladin. I guess mostly because I just got sick of playing against it.
It was too complicated for me. That and I like complex decks, but at that point, you were almost guessing what was left in your deck and what you're going to get and what order they were going to show up on your bar, and I just didn't like it much.
Yeah.
So Mattatarms ends up taking the what they're calling it, June.
Yeah,
summer.
June. Yeah, June.
Summer Tadpool.
Summer Tadpool Hearthstone tournament. So this is going to. They actually are going to start another tournament starting July 1st. It's going to be a Pauper tournament, and if you don't know what a Pauper tournament is, it's going to be standard, and you can only use commons from classic.
Any commons in
set.
standard as well as basic cards.
Basic. So common and basic cards. So it's still pretty much an even playing field. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see what decks come out of that. I'm not going to be able to participate in that because you had your vacation this month. I have mine next month, so. There's going to be 1 week there where I'm not going to have internet, and there's just not going to be a way for me to participate. But if you haven't participated yet, or you're not part of the Tadpool Hearthstone group on Facebook, let us know. Go to our website www.heropowerhs.com and just send us an email. Let us know that you are interested in being part of this group, and we'll get back with you and send you the link and all you need to know to to get there, or you can just search it on Facebook, Tadpool Hearthstone on Facebook, and ask to be invited in there. And yeah, it's a great group. They're very active. They're constantly posting ways to help each other out and giving each other encouragement. It's a good group.
All right, and for those that are interested in playing and think you don't have enough time for it, you have one full week to play your game, your Swiss match for that round. They do that usually 4 weeks. It depends on how many people are in the tournament. And then once that's all done, they arrange with the top 4 to do a semifinals and finals. At your discretion. You work with your opponent, find out what time's best for you. So you don't have to be sitting in a room all day playing a tournament. You can just do it at your leisure over the course of a number of weeks. And it's a good format. I like it. It's very casual, almost kind of like a league.
Yeah, yeah. And, now that we've got 18 deck slot, there's really no excuse not to have at least 2 decks that you can run some common basic cards only in and get out there. Kind of treat it like a tavern, or like a month-long tavern brawl of sorts.
All right. Well, I think we're done here.
Yep.
Do you have any other parting words, Rasika?
No, just once again, great group. Look them up on Facebook or go to our website, heropowerhs.com, and also catch us Wednesday nights live on Twitch. Do you want to give them that Twitch address?
Yeah, actually, if you go to www.heropowerhs.com Wednesday nights at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time and click on the stream link at the top, it'll take you right to our Twitch page.
Yeah, and we'll also post a link up on our Twitter account. It's at HeroPower_cast. Give us a follow, and we'll keep you up to date on everything that we've got going on. And I think that'll pretty much do it.
Yep, and have fun, guys, and don't forget to use your hero power.
Yeah, and thank you for coming on and for casting with me. It's been fun. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is fun. I want to do the next one.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right.